The James Webb Telescope has just detected a sudden 250% increase in Betelgeuse's brightness. Betelgeuse, the red star situated at the shoulder of the Orion constellation, has been exhibiting some strange behavior, fueling anticipation for a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle. Some say the increase in brightness could be a sign that the star is preparing to go supernova. But when exactly will this happen? Experts speculate that it could be soon. Join us as we explore the depths of space and delve into the mysteries surrounding this celestial giant. After all, Betelgeuse is capable of reshaping our entire understanding of the universe. A massive increase in brightness, even if you're not familiar with its name, you've likely gazed upon the magnificent Betelgeuse, a radiant, reddish dot shining brightly at the shoulder of Orion, that well-known constellation. Right now, Betelgeuse is incredibly massive. In fact, if we were to place it at the heart of our own solar system, its outer surface would extend beyond Jupiter's orbit. To this day, this colossal and easily observable star continues to fascinate us. Unlike most stars, Betelgeuse changes before our eyes due to its relatively close proximity to our galaxy. Betelgeuse is classified as a semi-regular variable star, meaning its brightness fluctuates, sometimes dramatically, as it steadily moves toward an eventual grand collapse in a supernova explosion. Although already quite conspicuous, Betelgeuse has become even more interesting in recent years due to unexpected fluctuations in its brightness that scientists still struggle to fully comprehend. Why is Betelgeuse shining so brightly and behaving so strangely? While this is uncharted territory, its recent behavior was triggered by an event in 2020. Betelgeuse went through a period known as the Great Dimming in 2019 and 2020, which we'll discuss later. Because of it, the nearest red giant star to Earth is now pulsating at double its usual speed, illuminating the early evening sky in the southern hemisphere. This strange behavior of one of the brightest stars in the sky is providing scientists with unprecedented insight into the demise of stars as it rapidly transitions between its bright and dim states. In recent times, Betelgeuse has occasionally exhibited more than a 50% increase in brightness. However, on May 20, 2023, Betelbot, a Twitter account dedicated to tracking Betelgeuse using information from the American Association of Variable Star Observers, reported something strange, a staggering 142% surge in brightness. Now, the most recent updates indicate a 150% increase. Astrophysicist Andrea Dupree from the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics notes that it currently ranks as the 7th brightest star in the night sky, climbing 3 places from its usual 10th position. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you can easily see Betelgeuse shining brightly in the early evening. Just look for it located at the shoulder of the Orion constellation. You can also see Betelgeuse from the northern hemisphere when the days grow shorter. Dr. Sarah Webb, an astrophysicist from Swinburne University of Technology in Australia, points out that one of the coolest things about Betelgeuse is that we can actually see the final stages of a big star's life happening right now, something we've never been able to study in so much detail before. By watching how Betelgeuse behaves, we can learn important things about what happens to red giants before they explode as supernovae. When it eventually explodes, it could become incredibly bright for about a week, even during the day, and it might even cast shadows at night. This has caught the attention of both amateur stargazers and professional astronomers. Everyone is excitedly waiting for a truly special event. You see, one day Betelgeuse will explode and end its life in a supernova. Since we're just 650 light-years away, we'll have the best view of this amazing cosmic explosion. Heidi Morris, a scientist at Los Alamos National Laboratory and president of the Padrito Astronomers and Astronomy Club, says that people really love Betelgeuse. It has been going through these changes in brightness for a very long time. Astronomers have known for a while that Betelgeuse brightens and then fades again. People from Aboriginal Australian and ancient Greek cultures even noticed this pattern thousands of years ago. Normally, the brightness cycle of Betelgeuse lasts around 400 days, but right now the star's brightness is changing much more quickly, about every 130 days, as observed by Andrea Dupree, who studies the star. This unusual behavior started in 2019 after Betelgeuse forcefully blew off a part of its outer atmosphere. These changes in brightness are not typical for Betelgeuse, but does this mean the star is going to explode into a supernova? It's hard to say, as this is completely new territory. According to a paper written by Dupree and other scientists from Harvard and the University of California, Berkeley, it will take another 5 to 10 years before Betelgeuse returns to its usual cycle of changing brightness every 400 days. The authors say that Betelgeuse has never been the same after the Great Dimming, and it's been acting differently in terms of its light and radial velocity. Still, Betelgeuse is a massive red supergiant star that has lived a fast and intense life. It's only around 10 million years old, while our Sun is 5 billion years old. Betelgeuse is currently in the final stages of its rapid evolution. Eventually, when it exhausts its fuel, the core will collapse under its enormous mass, resulting in an explosion that can outshine entire galaxies. It's bound to happen, but like everyone else, we're curious to know when it will happen. When is it going to blow? There is a lot of speculation about when Betelgeuse will eventually explode in a supernova, but experts are doubtful. If you dig into historical records, you'll find that over the past 20 years, the star has actually been getting redder. Jason Ibra, who studies stars and the history of astronomy at West Virginia University, explains this fascinating observation. It seems we might have to wait quite a while before Betelgeuse blows up, implying that Betelgeuse transformed into a red supergiant relatively recently in cosmic terms. Therefore, it could take a considerable amount of time for the star to deplete its fuel completely. To the best of our knowledge, Betelgeuse is unlikely to go supernova anytime soon, according to Ibra. But what does NASA say about when Betelgeuse will go supernova? According to NASA, Betelgeuse is not expected to explode for another 100,000 years. Heidi Morris suggests that we shouldn't assume it will remain unchanged even in 10,000 years. We should stay attentive and let it inspire us to advance scientifically. Although it is highly unlikely that we will witness Betelgeuse's explosion in our lifetime, Dr. Sarah Webb reminds us that we cannot be certain. We should keep both our fingers and toes crossed and hope for some luck. It's important to note that we are observing Betelgeuse in the past. The light we see from the star is more than 600 years old. Theoretically, Betelgeuse may have already exploded, and we would be unaware of it. Indeed, this possibility exists, but it is far from definite. Past experiences have shown us that our expectations can be challenged. Prior to 1987, astronomers believed that only red supergiants could undergo a supernova. However, in the same year, a giant blue star in another galaxy exploded, surprising the scientific community. There is still much to learn, and we might be in for some surprises. By observing Betelgeuse and other massive stars, we can gain a better understanding of the situation. Even without a grand explosion, Betelgeuse's current behavior is intriguing. Its oscillation between dimming and flaring reveals fascinating physics. The fact that stars pulsate on human timescales is remarkable. The star is currently much brighter than expected based on its 400-day cycle. However, there is hope that it will eventually regain its 400-day cycle. Right now, it seems to be struggling to do so, but it turns out Betelgeuse might just explode earlier than experts believed. This was suggested on June 2, 2023, raising questions about our understanding of Betelgeuse's evolutionary stage. It suggests that Betelgeuse is currently in a late phase or nearing the end of the core carbon-burning process. This is the stage where carbon is converted into heavier elements like oxygen and magnesium. This is in contrast to the current belief that Betelgeuse is in its helium-burning phase. Once the carbon is used up in its core, experts predict that a core collapse, leading to a supernova explosion, could happen in just a few tens of years. It's an astonishing prediction, but don't put all your trust in this forecast. The study mentions it's hard to figure out what exact stage Betelgeuse is in because the surface of stars barely changes when they're close to using up all of their carbon. According to their findings, the core collapse is expected to occur within a few tens of years after carbon depletion. This makes Betelgeuse a prime candidate for the next galactic supernova, and it's happening so close to us. While they didn't give a specific date for when carbon depletion is going to occur, the study has stated that most of the carbon is close to being used up. After that, it's only a few tens of years until we see the star go supernova. So, is there a chance we might witness the explosion of Betelgeuse during our lifetimes? It's hard to say. The carbon-burning phase can last upwards of 1,000 years for a star like Betelgeuse. Furthermore, this study hasn't been accepted for publication, so it might undergo significant changes before it's finalized. But let's think for a second about how crazy it would be if Betelgeuse went supernova. What would it look like from a star that's so close? How would Betelgeuse going supernova look? When that moment arrives, it will be absolutely mind-blowing. Imagine the spectacle. The last supernova visible from Earth in our Milky Way occurred way back in 1604, but Betelgeuse is so close to us that its supernova will be incredibly bright. Expect daytime visibility for weeks. According to the latest estimates, Betelgeuse is approximately 548 light-years away from our planet. Ancient Egyptian records even speak of what could have been a supernova, describing the appearance of a second sun in the sky. When Betelgeuse eventually goes boom, it will astound anyone lucky enough to witness it. The initial signs of the supernova's arrival will be subtle yet unmistakable. Neutrinos, ghostly particles emitted during the star's collapse, will sweep over Earth, triggering detectors around the world. Then, as high-energy photons escape from the expanding cloud of stellar debris, the real fireworks will commence. You won't need any special equipment, just your naked eyes. The star will gradually grow brighter in the night sky, incredibly bright, even reaching its peak brightness after a few days. What is its peak? 10,000 to 100,000 times its normal brilliance. In just 1 week, Betelgeuse will become the brightest object in the sky, surpassing even Venus. Depending on the explosion strength, the remnants could be as bright as a quarter or half of a full moon, concentrated into a single point of light. And get this, you'll be able to see it during the day too. It will be luminous enough to be visible during daylight and cast dramatic shadows at night. It's going to be much, much brighter than Venus. Predictions range from anywhere between 15 to 250 times brighter than Venus. That's quite a jump, considering Venus is currently the second brightest object we see in the night sky. Imagine the sight. The explosion of Betelgeuse would be a grand spectacle that lingers in our view for a significant amount of time. Well, maybe not forever, but definitely long enough to capture our attention. This extraordinary radiance will persist for about 100 days. For astronomers, it would be a monumental event, offering a rare chance to observe the aftermath up close and uncover a treasure trove of surprising discoveries. Afterward, the star will gradually fade away over hundreds of days until it disappears into the vast darkness. But don't worry, binoculars and telescopes will allow us to observe it for an extended period. If you're worried about any harm, don't be. Betelgeuse is still pretty far away, enough that its supernova wouldn't pose any threat to humans. Don't worry about any harmful effects. However, history tells us that such an event wouldn't go unnoticed. The sky would undergo such a dramatic transformation visible to everyone, and it would surely elicit a tremendous response worldwide. People of the past often interpreted supernovae as bad omens, and Betelgeuse's demise could trigger interesting reactions. The eruption of a star like Betelgeuse would undoubtedly spark intriguing discourse. The supernova of Betelgeuse would be impossible to ignore, even if you tried. Astronomer Brian Praise believes that such a dramatic event could even cause people to wake up out of their unawareness and potentially reignite a widespread interest in astronomy, even on a civilization-wide level. Now, let's not expect a sudden explosion like a bomb going off. There could be signs or smaller eruptions preceding the grand finale. And remember, Betelgeuse isn't the only red supergiant in our galaxy. Others, like Aa Carin, might burst into the sky before it does. Statistically speaking, our Milky Way should witness a supernova roughly every 50 years or so. Surprisingly, though, we haven't seen one occur in the last 400 years, although we have observed remnants of past explosions. Statistically speaking, we're overdue for an extraordinary cosmic event. It's just a matter of time before the next star puts on its dazzling show for the universe to witness. Betelgeuse has quite the history. It's a star that has been the focus of many astronomers and fans of astronomy. One big event in Betelgeuse's lifetime was known as the Great Dimming in the autumn of 2019. The star experienced a significant decrease in brightness. This event, known as the Great Dimming, caused Betelgeuse to dim by around 60% within a few months. The red supergiant star captured the attention of astronomers during late 2019 and early 2020 due to its unprecedented dimming. Fortunately, Betelgeuse's brightness returned to its normal level by April 2020. However, the reason behind its dimming still remained a puzzle. Initial attempts were made to understand this strange event, but the complete explanation would only come in the following year. Skywatchers can easily spot Betelgeuse from their backyards, providing a wealth of observations. However, to gain a closer and more detailed understanding of the star, its atmosphere, and the significant changes it undergoes, scientists rely on observatories like the Hubble Space Telescope. The dimming of Betelgeuse, which couldn't be fully explained at first, led to speculation that the star might be on the verge of exploding. This sudden decrease in brightness raised the possibility of Betelgeuse entering a pre-supernova phase, preceding its explosive death as a supernova. The idea of a potential explosion captured the curiosity of people worldwide, as Betelgeuse would be the closest supernova ever observed by humans. Unlike our Sun, Betelgeuse is a massive star with a much shorter lifespan. One thing we know for sure is that Betelgeuse will eventually go through a supernova. When that occurs, the star will change into either a neutron star or a black hole. The exact result will rely on how much material is left behind following the supernova. However, many astrophysicists cautioned against jumping to supernova conclusions. They suggested that the dimming could be attributed to more ordinary phenomena, such as a cold blob appearing on the star's surface or a dust cloud passing in front of it.